Hello. We're here, we're live, and I'm gonna stop the music now because even though I love the soundtrack of Unleashed, I am not entirely sure Sega's gonna kick my ass. Hello everyone. Hello. You say fish jump scare, but I am currently cosplaying a bat, so I'm a bat fish jump scare. Yeah. I don't even know what I'm saying. I got a good bit of match to keep me going. Oh shit. Sorry. I hate the mic, I'm sorry. I just said I had a drink. I was wiping my mouth because I got a bit of it on my stomach and like my lips. And I just felt like, kid you not, it was the middle finger that just flicked down and hit the mic. Oh my god. Okay. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing now that I've just like full middle finger flicked your ears? Rat jumps. I am not a rat. It's a bat. It's also a buff a bitch, except not really. Sonic is a family-friendly kind of series. I should not be using such foul language. Which character is most likely to say fuck? I think we all know the answer to that one. Sorry. Anyway. Hello everybody, my name is Natalia Finn, and today we will be doing a bunch of Sonic tier lists. I did my best. You can't really see them all because I'm in the way. But what's it? Yeah, I there was one that was like had a few more characters on it than this one, but it had like every single character ever, including like the mayor dude you can pick up in Unleashed and just move around. And when I saw that, I thought like I was like at that point, maybe we should scale it back just a little bit. A little bit. To be fair, I might not use every single character in this list, by the way, because some characters are just like, it's a bit hard. Well, it's not a bit hard. What's it? I don't think I know them well enough, I suppose is the best way to put it. I don't think I'll know every character well enough, or it's just a lot of characters wouldn't really do much in certain scenarios. If I can figure out where to put them, I will. If I can't, it's like the main reason I'm saying this is Oma Chow. It's like, how would you rank Oma Chow in any of this? Oh shoot, I didn't know you could do that. Damn, look at that. Oh shit, get back in place, please. Sorry. I know the top row, that's it. Fair enough. Jet. Not my beloved, but my favorite dude to mock. Anywho. Hello, everybody. Hello. How we doing? Let's see. Hello, Anakin. Congrats on the first message. How I've missed the nights with 2 hours sleep. Anakin! Anakin, do not... Please. You've been studying so much lately. Please get some... Please get some sleep. Do I see my boy Chaos? You do indeed see your boy Chaos. He is here. He is here on this list. We got... Okay, just to do a rundown in this. We have Tails. I swear to God, I did not put him first. One sec, I just realized that my cursor isn't visible when I'm on that screen. 1 second. Let me change the properties. Capture cursor. There we're done. And yay, you can see my cursor. Yes. We have Tails. I swear to God, I did not put him first. It's just whoever made this list has base takes in which characters should come first, always. Then we have Eggman, Knuckles, Shadow, Amy Rose. We have Cream, but we don't have Cheese, so I'm either gonna do it where Cream and Cheese are just one entity, or I don't know, get the Chows. I'll just use the Chows as cheese. We'll see. We have Rouge the Bat, the lovely lady I'm cosplaying. Shout out to KB for this amazing art. We got Big the Cat, which one of my roommates has recently taken to calling Big Cat to annoy the fuck out of me. Kid you not? I would just be like, will we like play? Well, she just started playing like the Sonic Adventure series. She finished Sonic Adventure 1. She's like a quarter of the way through Sonic Adventure 2. And the first time she saw Big the Cat, I said, "Oh, that's Big the Cat. Just get used to him being around." And then, but she thought I said Big Cat, and so when I corrected her, she saw the prime opportunity to just be like, "Oh, hey, it's Big Cat," because she knows it's gonna piss me off. But yeah, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself. We have Sonic the Hedgehog. We have the Chows, which maybe cheese, maybe not. We'll see. We have Super Sonic, which, to be fair, isn't that much different to regular Sonic. So he's another one of the ones where I'm like, do I really need to put him on the list? So we'll see. If people think oh, fuck off, Siemens. If you want to be on my stream, you got to sponsor me. Let's see. We have Vector the crocodile. I think he's a crocodile. I can't remember if he's ever. I'm pretty sure he's a crocodile, not an alligator. We have Charmy the bee. Don't ask me why I said it like that. I can't answer. We have Espio the chameleon. We have I can't get Espio back in place. He's going there now. We have Omega. We have not affiliated with the Alpha universe. We have Jet the Hawk. We have, I don't remember what kind of birds these two are. So we've got Storm, and we have Wave. What the fuck did I forget her name? I was just talking about it today. Jesus Christ. We have Blaze the cat, my girly, my queen, my second favorite, would-be favorite if Tails didn't exist. My other would-be favorite if others didn't exist, Silver. We have Gamma. We have Chaos, as we've already established. We have Tikal. I keep forgetting. Her name's Tikal, right? I always mess it up. I always call her Tika, as in like Tikka masala. It's so bad. But yeah, Tikal, I believe. We have... Oh, fuck, I'm always forgetting. I forgot your name again. Is it Gemerald or Emerald? It's Gemerald, right? It's Gemerald. We have Metal Sonic. We have Marine. We have the Werehog. Ooh, scary. But again, is also another variant of Sonic, so I have absolutely no clue if I should include him or not, because... It's not even like at least with Super Sonic, he tends to be a bit more serious, so I could understand maybe including him. But the Werehog, it's just he's stronger and not as fast. Like, the personality doesn't change. So he's, again, I'm not entirely sure what to do with him. We have Chip, the whatever the I think he's meant to be a Chihuahua. I think. We'll get back to you on that. We have... Fuck, I forgot your name. I was rewatching the fucking reruns of the show. I'm swearing again. This is meant to be a family-friendly stream. This is not going well. I know she's a badger. Guys, help. What's her name again? What's the Sonic? Sticks, thank you. Thank you. Why did I forget your name? You're so funny. I love you. We have Eggman Nega, as in negative. Please, again, with my... Oh my god. I also have, like, I also brought, like, my old copy of Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. Like, the 2020 version, I think it was the last one that ever came out. Oh my god. Let's just say that my roommate thought I said something bad for a second. when I said this name, and I had to explain, no, it's just short for negative. It's just short for negative. Yeah, that was bad. It took a second to explain. But yeah, she was like, oh, okay, because she saw his name on screen. And then we had Orbot, and we have Cubot, and we have Omachao. Just say minus or something. Yeah, this is Eggman minus, because he has minus aura. Hey, Antonio. I legit got a bit scared when you said it. It's short for negative. I will just call him, I'll either call him minus or negative. YouTube, please, I was just saying a shortened version of the word negative. Don't kick my ass, please. Ah, Jesus. Hi, Mabu. Clean the house, twins were whining, so I put you on the TV. It doesn't surprise you how quickly they shut up on hearing you. By the way, Emerald is the robot. Gemerald is what he's called after his rebirth. Oh, that's when he has, like, the new endoskeleton. I don't know, I just know FNAF terms for robots. See, your cats love me more than you. This is why they should be. This is why they should come. This is why you need to relinquish ownership to me. But yeah, they give you the $10. Where's Maria? Maria's not on the list, surprisingly. Maybe because they're both blondish, we should just make. We're gonna make Supersonic Maria. How does that sound, chat? Should we make Supersonic Maria? My twins know. Boo. Boo. Orbot and Cubot are the best. They are very fun boys. They're fun boys. They are the eternal middle children of the Robotnik family. Yeah, let me just welcome everyone in. You know what? You know, hell yeah. Share the fireworks. Have you guys seen that, like, Super Maria art on Twitter? It's so funny. It's so funny the way her hair is just like a Dragon Ball Z character. If you haven't, please try searching for it. Oh, what the hell. Hi, Flappy. Hello. But yeah, cleaning now. Enjoy your clean. You didn't miss much. I was just introducing all the characters we have on the list today. All these lovely lads and ladies and in-betweens, because I don't know whether the machines have pronouns. But yeah, do not trade me, please. I mean, Natalia said negative. Yeah, I said negative. I'm working really hard at it. It's okay, it's okay. But yeah. Hello, Anakin. Congrats on first message. Welcome in, Salju. Welcome in. Welcome in, Cardabuncle. Welcome in, Diamond. Hello, Zero Overlord. I've come to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker. Oh, go away, Simeon's energy. You called me earlier. You're not catching me again. I need to get an ad blocker. Jesus Christ. Late Talia's true Talia. I don't know what other Talias there are, so I guess so. Hi, Corbells. Welcome in, Yang Sunsin. Is there anybody else in chat today? There should be. There were other people who came in. I read out of a name before. Everybody's having such. Oh, hi, placeholder. Would you mind putting some text of whatever tier this is on? I will do that. By the way, guys, as I said, this tier list stuff is going to be suggestions from chat. So if you have an idea of what you want or that you haven't put in the Discord yet, you are free to just put it here, and we'll still do it. Ranking variants of Natalia. We could do that stream at one point. Yeah, hi, placeholder. Unfortunately, Obama is not part of the Sonic universe, so I can't rank Obama, nor do I think I'd want to. I'm not in the mood to piss off the American political climate. Hello, Noello. Hello. Let's see. Welcome in, KB. Let's see. Is there anybody else? Oh, welcome in, Mabu. Hello. Oh, hi, Mabu. Do you have a membership, Mabu? I don't have to fucking know. Do you have a membership? You do. That wasn't a pressure thing, by the way. That wasn't a pressure thing. I just couldn't tell because of the, what you call it? Because of the, what is the word? I couldn't tell because of the super chat. It doesn't show if you have a membership on it. The chick got a bit scared when you said it. We're not talking about that anymore. Hi, Antonio. Welcome to Flappy Does Nothing. Hello, Flappy. Hi, Sligu. Has anyone here read the IDW comics? Well, fun fact, Sligu. I ages ago did a live reading of the Tangle and Whisper comics where they're chasing after the mimic octopus dude. I forget his name. And sorry. And the ones with Surge and Kitsunami. So if you would like to check that out, you are able to go through my channel. But yeah, hello, Sligu. Hello, hello. Let's see. Metal Sonic immediate S tier. I mean, if we're ranking characters, I will say Metal Sonic is one of my favorites. He's not like an S rank tier for me, I will be honest, because they're just... Recently, there hasn't been enough content of him, but so that's like kind of brought him down a bit because other characters have had more content where it's elevated it for me, so he's kind of gone down in my rankings because of that. But you know, when the new movie comes out, and hopefully the surge of Metal Sonic content that will follow it based off the pattern of the other movies, I think he might go up. Hi Derek, and hi Levy. Hi. Let's see. I'm more of a Mechasonic MK2. That's a really big, chunky boy, isn't it? But yeah, okay. Alright. Oh, my back. I slanked down my chair there and I hurt myself. But it's fine. Better forgotten than tarnished, to be honest. Yeah, true. It's better... What's the thing? Better to die a hero than see yourself live long enough to become the villain. Or better to die with good character, with good character writing, than live long enough to see yourself become a piece of shit. Yeah, let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to find, oh shit. My freaking, all my pens keep falling every stream. It's becoming a pattern. But yeah, sorry, someone's sent me a Persona thing. But yeah, sorry, I was trying to open Discord and I ended up going on the tab that had the music I was playing at the beginning of stream. I was like Came back at 12 and took a nap. Yay! Enjoy it. Had a good nap. She missed my earlier message, rip. Oh, sorry, Diamond, what'd you say? Sorry. I'm eating something spicy during the stream. My tummy is burning. Make sure to have some milk and bread. Have milk and bread. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so the first thing is a very, very recent thing, which I feel like I should also just quickly talk about. I haven't taken my PC to the repair shop yet, unfortunately. So, not my PC. Obviously, it's not my PC. I'm streaming right now. But yeah, for those who are unaware, the reason why I haven't done an ASMR recently, or an ASMR didn't come out, if you hadn't seen it, is because I ended up, my PC, my laptop's keyboard somehow activated numlock. That's what I'm assuming is numlock, because only the number keys are really typing, so I can't put in the password onto my laptop, and everything I've tried so far hasn't really worked in getting the numlock off. So I'm gonna have to take it to a repair shop tomorrow just to see if like the guys there can like fiddle around with it or some shit or whatever. But yeah, the reason why I provide this context is A, to let you know that ASMRs are still on hopefully just a very short indefinite hiatus until I get it fixed. But also to provide context for this thing. How would they react if their laptop keyboard broke and could, for God's sake, and could only use number keys? Let's see, is that gonna be a good bet? Yeah, it's a good bet. Maybe. Yeah, there you go. And then make the background solid. And then, yeah. How would they react if their laptop keyboard broke and they could only use number keys? That's also submitted by Scrunkles. Thank you for the reminder of my pain. Or else a Bachikatakita went from broken schedule to no schedule. Yeah, that was, I don't know, I guess I just had a bad feeling at the start of this week that shit was gonna happen. And good thing I was on that, because that meant people weren't expecting an ASMR in real life this week. But yeah. Our streamer has scuffed 24/7. I mean, after all, it's everything you've tried. I had my roommates help me, okay? They were the ones who suggested it was likely Numlock. And they, like, are a tiny bit more tech savvy than me. Like, they're not the peak of tech savviness, to be fair, but, like, they're better than me. Then again, everyone's better than me when it comes to fucking tech, but hey, who cares? But yeah, I haven't changed the tiers to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this one specifically instead of I mean, I'll be real with you, I don't even think we really I think we should just do this to a calmest to angriest thing. Or suffer, actually no, let's put angriest. So, I think I am still just gonna keep, like, the numerical, or not numerical, what the fuck's the equivalent of numerical for word, letters, things? Letterical? It's just easier to keep things like this, otherwise I'm gonna end up changing things a bunch, and I don't want to do that. Tectalia is a pipe dream. MS Paint thumbnails. Should listen. You guys want you want MS Paint thumbnails now? Are you kidding me? Alphabetical. Oh. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, cause no letter. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have no brain. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Yang. Listen, okay? It's been a long day, but not really. I'm just dumb. Anyway, okay. So, how would they react if their keyboard, broken, could only use number keys? Starting off with Tails. Huh. I'm gonna put him in A rank because I don't think he would be ultra calm. I say this because I feel like at first he would have like that initial freak out where he would be like, oh no, my laptop, it's broken. How am I meant to do all my tech stuff? And like, you know, that would be like, initially he would be like kind of freaked out and upset, but then he'd either calm down by himself or like Sonic would be like, it's okay, buddy, you're like really good at tech stuff, you'll be able to fix this. And then at that point he's just gonna be like, yeah, you're right, Sonic, I got this, and then he just fixes it. So, like, he'd be fine in that regard. Eggman, kind of in a similar vein, but I'm gonna put him at B, because I feel like he would just be, like, unlike Tails, who'd, like, have that initial freak out, or, like, actually, I'm gonna change angriest to freak out, because it isn't necessarily angry, but it is what it is, kind of thing. It encompasses all negative emotions. But yeah, I think Eggman would be like just a tier slightly below, because I don't think he'd like, I think he'd be fine, like he'd understand that he could fix things, but it would just like the inconvenience would piss him off, so the entire time he'd be like, oh, this stupid fucking machine, I built you, you should be better than this, like that kind of thing. Wait, I forgot how good your Tails voice was. I was about to say Tails ASMR, but I don't think I'd want to do that. I've also got like too many ASMRs lined up anyway, so. Do we know where Nat would be on this tier list? Surprisingly, I was quite calm about it when it happened, because, I don't know, this entire week, I've just had this feeling of something shitty was gonna happen. So when it finally happened, and it was, to me, it was like, oh, it's just my laptop keyboard's broken. I've got, like, my thing is like, okay, I can find some way around this. I feel a bit shitty because I've inconvenienced a couple of people who've commissioned me, so I would like to just publicly apologize for like the delays and shit. But yeah, other than that, I was like I said, I was waiting for something to happen, so I wasn't like too inconvenienced, I suppose. And I can still stream, so I can still give you guys some form of content, even if it's not what you typically mainly want from me. Like, worst case scenario, if shit takes too long, I can just start making every stream an ASMR stream for a bit, just so that people have ASMR content alongside stream content. Like, I can't stream every night, but I can at least, like, make something for people to fill the ASMR rift. Now it's going from reaction stream to tier list stream. Truly peak of content, hell yeah. Mentally prepare yourself, GG. Impending sense of doom, fish. I mean, I do have quite a good sense of, like, what you call it. Not future sight, but I typically, if I have a gut feeling, I tend to be right. So that's why I'm good at, like, just bracing myself for shit. But yeah, next is Nicholas. I don't know how to rank him on this, because the thing is, he doesn't really use tech, does he? But at the same time, it's like, I kind of want to put him on the same ranking as Tails, because the way that I'm imagining this is that something's gone down. They're in the middle of, like, one of their, like adventures or some shit, like, I don't know, Eggman's taken the island that Knuckles lives on or something. Like, Knuckles has been involved for some reason. And he needs the laptop, like, they need the laptop for part of the mission, like, maybe Tails needs it. And then, like, the laptop, the keyboard breaks. And then Knuckles is initially, like, frustrated because it's like, oh, we need that tech for our mission and shit, how dare it not work on us? And tells us to be like, no, Knuckles, we can't really, like, you know, you can't break it, it's not gonna make it better. And then he's just like, oh, forget it, and then he just walks off. Knuckles will punch it and somehow fix it. True. He would throw his keyboard out, he would. Now, Natalia almost forgot to do one of the easiest streams. Did you have a gut feeling for the KCC overtake? It's not overtaking. Shadow, I'm not entirely sure, because Shadow, he's not, like, Shadow with Shadow. How many times have I just said Shadow in the past 10 seconds? With him, he's not as, like, non-tech dependent as Knuckles, but I feel like it would be the reason why it would have it is a similar vein, because he's pretty cut off from society. He uses tech because of his alliance with Gun, but I don't think he's pretty old school, so I don't think he actually really uses tech or really understands it that much. If we're just going off his headcanon, this whole stream's a fucking headcanon stream, so. Can you voice over the Shadow Latina meme? The thing is, I don't know. You guys want that? You guys want oh, we'll see. But yeah, I feel I'm gonna put him in an A vein as well, because I feel like again, it would be initial frustration, but then, because I feel like the tech would be, if it wasn't during a mission, I would put him on S rank. But I think if he was on a mission, he would get temporarily frustrated, but then he would be like, whatever, I'm gonna move on and just complete it anyways. So that's why I'm gonna put him in A rank. Like, he needs tech, but he's not tech dependent, if that makes sense. Amy Rose, the beautifulest lady in town. According to some, others wish to see her burned on the stake because of Sally, but we're not going to discuss that. I'm not sure with her. I'll be real, I'm flittering between C and D, because I think she would have a bit of a freak out. in the sense of like, oh no, my stuff's broken. I don't want my stuff. Like, oh no, my stuff's broken. I don't want my stuff to be broken. Kind of thing. But at the same time, but I don't think she'd like do like the massive flip out. Like a massive flip out. But at the same time, it's Amy. And she's pretty much, her emotions are very front, center, and powerful. Yes, we want that. Do you want that? Shadow would shoot the keyboard, they destroy. Then de-stress from that. He would. Amy ASMR, whatever. I don't know, I've already got an Agnes ASMR that I have to do. And a Ratna ASMR I do. I don't know, man. I don't know. She'd get the hammer. It would, I think it'd depend. If it was something like she was baking or it was something to do with like her tarot stuff, I think her reaction would be that extreme. But if it was something related to Sonic, especially early incarnation Amy, I think at that point that would be when she'd bring out the hammer. Your days are numbered, computer, you motherfucker, cutting me off from my love. Amy says motherfucker confirmed. Cream, I'm gonna put her in C rank. Because I don't think Vanilla is the kind of parent, like Cream's mom, I don't think Vanilla is the kind of parent who would let their child have like she wouldn't raise Cream to be an iPad kid, essentially. But that means that when she does have access to the computer, that means it's her mother's computer. I don't even know if Vanilla has a computer, I'll be real with you. But at that point, she's like, if the keyboard like did that while she was using it, I think she would like get really upset because she's like, oh no, I've just broken my mom's computer. That was really high pitched, I'm sorry. But yeah, she would get like upset from that. But then she'd have Cream with her who would like calm her, because Cream's always with her. Not Cream, Cheese is always with her. So I feel like Cheese would calm her down, and then she'd be able to go to like her mom and be like, Mom, I'm sorry. And then at that point Vanilla as well would calm her down, and then they'd figure it out. They'd take it to tails. If I had a nickel for every time Nat did a Sonic stream, I would have 4 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird how it's happened 4 times. I would do more if I could. I forgot how old are the Sonic characters. I think Cream's 4 years old. I think she's incredibly young. Robotnik is like over 50 based off like the Maria incident, because he wasn't born until after Maria died. Not Sonic. I just called Shadow Sonic, are you kidding me? Shadow is hard to quantify age-wise, because mentally he's meant to be around the same age as like Sonic and Knuckles and Amy. However, if we are going literally by birth, he's only, well, if we're going mentally, oh, it's weird. Okay, mentally he was born with the same like age mindset as, like I said, Sonic, Knuckles, Amy. But then technically physically he'd be over 50 due to how long he's lived. But then if you don't count the cryostasis bit or whatever, not the cryostasis, but when he was put in like that weird chamber thingy, if you don't count that, then he would only be like a few years old, if that. Knuckles, I think the general consensus is that Knuckles is meant to be like 1 year older than Sonic. So say like a lot of the kind of general consensus is that the last time Sonic's age was confirmed, I think he was confirmed to be 16. There were a lot of people nowadays like to say that he's 20-ish at the time of Frontiers. But yes, Knuckles would, if we're going by the last time Sonic's age was confirmed, Knuckles would be 17. Amy as well Amy is the same age as Sonic. And Tails is quite young. He's older than Cream. He's hard to put, because the last time his age was confirmed, he was confirmed 7, but that was also when Sonic was like 13, I think. I don't remember exactly. So he's like, I'd say 5 years younger, so he's probably like 11. Rouge, I think, is meant to be an adult because of like how she was introduced. Also, she's part of Team Dark, and Team Dark in general is meant to have like a older, mature vibe. Vector is the only like definitely adult character other than Vanilla, because Vanilla obviously is Cream's mom, and they're not gonna want to have like a teen be her mother because of like the times back then. And Vector and Vanilla are meant to be like not dating but romantically thingying each other. At the very least, Vector has a crush on Vanilla. Charmy, I think, is the same age as, or around the same age as Tails, and then Espio is the same age as like Sonic and Co. Jet, same thing with Jet. I think Jet and the rest of the Babylonians, these dudes down here, if you can see them. They're all, I think they're also around the same age as Sonic. Same with Blaze and Silver, and Chaos is very old. Tikal is dead. Emerald is very old. Metal Sonic is a robot, so the same with like, it's the same thing with like Gamma and Omega and like Orbot, Cubot, and Mashao. They're all like, they're just robots, so we can't, if you want to talk about from the date they were built, I have no idea. Marion, I think she's meant to be on the younger end, but I don't think she's as young as Tails, I could be wrong. Werehog has same age is Sonic, so I rolled Sonic is. Styx, again, Sonic and Co. Chip is, I can't say anything because spoilers. And, and Eggman Minus is, I think, same age. He's hard to quantify, but I think he's meant to be the same age as our current Eggman is, because he's an Eggman from the future. He's the Eggman from Silver's time. So it's like he's the Eggman of that time, but like Wait, since when were Vector and Vanilla a thing? Have you not read the comics? They are constantly. Give me a second. Give me like a second. Let's see. Vanilla and Vector. There's constant like, if you this thingy is like, they're semi-canon. They're, like I said, they're not dating, but it's heavily implied that they're both share romantic feelings, because it's in Sonic X and the IDW comic. I'm reading this off the fucking wiki. Yeah, it's semi-canon because in Sonic X and the IDW comics, they've shown to Vector at the very least is shown to be very like ooh around Vanilla. And Vector definitely has a crush on her. Like I said, he's very ooh. He's very like, he's blushing. He's always like doing that thing that guys do in anime where they just like, they scratch the back of their head when they're being like, oh shucks, lady. I just yeah, it's still a problem, you know, like that kind of trope around like the girl they like. And yeah, specifically, he stutters and he's blushing and everything around her. Give me like 5 seconds. I'll show you. 1 second. We're getting a bit off topic here, but I'm just gonna show this anyway, because, like, why not? Yeah, here you go. See? And Vanilla is very much aware of it, as you can see by her face here. She's very much like, oh, I know you're blushing. It's very much implied that, or not implied, it's just straight up that Vector has a crush on Vanilla. It's just it's unclear if Vanilla reciprocates. I mean, based off this attitude here, you assume she does, but they're never canonically dating because, like, no characters in Thingy can date or something. I don't remember the rule, or at the very least Sonic can never date, but I don't know if that rule applies to everyone else. But yeah. I think I'm gonna put. I think Rouge is gonna be our first S because I feel like she'd be initially like the tiniest bit annoyed, but it would literally just be an annoyed sigh. What an interesting rule. It's a common rule with a lot of Japanese companies. Like, I mean, I'm sure you all recently saw that Nintendo confirmed that Mario and Sonic, Mario and Peach are just very good friends who are not romantically interested in each other at all. They're just good friends who help each other out from now and again. That was very surprising to me, yeah. I genuinely just thought Nintendo was the only one with the balls to actually make them a couple. Mario and Sonic jump together. It's that one gif of them, like, violently making out. With benefits. I don't know if it's with benefits. Man. We're not even halfway through the first question stream. I was like, oh god damn it. Yeah, it's BS to the extreme. Yeah, I don't know. It's like a thing. I don't know. I don't think it's like a corpo thing, like with like VTuber corpos where they don't confirm they're dating so people can, or like same with idols and shit where it's like, oh, they've not confirmed anyone they're dating anyone, so I have a chance. I don't think it's that, because I should hope that Sega isn't implying you should date 16-year-old hedgehogs. I don't think that should be something promoted, but maybe that's just me. Anyway, I don't know the reason for those kinds of rules, but they're quite common with game companies, unless like the game is like it's like an RPG or something. But it does say they are very close. Yeah, the very good friends thing was a mistranslation. It should have been they are very close. It still doesn't say they're in a relationship, but it does say they're very close. Anyway, let's actually get back to this. As I was saying, Rouge is gonna be our first S, because I don't think she'd be completely calm, just like whatever about it, but I think she would let out a annoyed sigh about it, like, ugh, okay, whatever, we're moving on, kind of thing. I personally, I think she'd be calmer than Shadow in the situation, especially if they were together. I think she would be the one calming him down. Big the cat, same. Well, he would literally just be like, "Oh, Froggy, the laptop stopped working. That's a shame." And they just move on. Let's be real. What does Big need his laptop for, other than like, I don't know, posting pictures of the fish he catches? He's like those dudes on Tinder who post the pictures of like themselves holding like the giant fish. But it's like he's not trying to actually get anybody. He just posts it on like his face. Because let's be real, Big wouldn't use Twitter. He would be on Facebook posting these pictures, and people would think he's just trying to get a girl. But he's straight up just like, I like this big fish I bought. I caught and I bought. Like a Facebook, exactly like a Facebook dad. Sonic, You know what? I think I'm actually going to put Sonic in S rank. Because the same as with like these guys, or no, actually more the same as with Big, he doesn't really use tech. I know like in the movies, they've what you call it? They show him using like watching movies and stuff. But like if we're going strictly by game Sonic, he's always just running about, just like looking at the world and like helping people out. Very rarely do we see him actually interact with tech in the games, and usually that's only because he needs it from Tails. So I feel like if his laptop like broke down, I don't think he'd be that like affected by it. So he'd just be like, huh, what's going on here? Ah, shoot, it's broken. Well, better take it to Tails. And that would be the end of it. I think that's how he'd react in the situation, honestly. Chows wouldn't know what the hell are going on. They wouldn't know what the hell's going on. They'd just be like, and then move on. I'm not going to put Supersonic on because it's just redundant. Espio? I'm going to put him in A. I don't know what, like, okay, I think he's the kind of guy to appear unbothered by it all, Would they know what the laptop does? Let's be real, they probably wouldn't. Hi, Dragon Steve. Hello, hello. Oh, right. Supersonic is Maria. I forgot. I forgot I said that. Yeah, Supersonic. Okay, sorry. Maria. This totally legit Maria. Okay, let me just take SBO for a second so I can talk about Maria. I think Maria, again, would be in the same... I'm gonna put... Sorry, look at me laugh. I'm gonna put Maria in the same... I'm gonna put Maria in B, because I think her thing would be a similar reaction to Cream. In the fact of, like, we never really see her interact with tech in, like, her few scenes that she has. But obviously her, Gerald's job likely required the use of a lot of, like, technology. So, it's kind of a flip of the coin. If it was her own laptop that she was using for whatever reason, if they had laptops back then, I don't know, Sonic tech is weird. If it was her laptop, I think she'd be like, oh, it's fine. I can just take it to my grandfather, and he'll sort it out. That's a horrible Maria impression, but you know, she'd just be like, oh yeah, I can just take this to my grandfather. It's alright, Shadow. We can continue watching Godzilla another time. Or something like that. And, like, they would be chill because of that. But if it was her grandfather's thing, I think then she'd be a bit more freaked out, because she'd be like, oh shoot, this is for my grandfather's work. Oh no. And at that point, then she'd be a little freaked out. But I feel like at the same time, like, she'd have Shadow there being like, it's okay, Maria. I'm sure your grandfather can sort it out. And then Gerald himself would just be like, would also just say like, oh no, it's fine. We have backups and stuff. Because, like, let's be real, who's gonna let their, like, young teenage granddaughter handle their laptop that has the only copy of very important work files on it? So I don't think Gerald would... I think Gerald would just tell her to chill if she was freaking out. So for that reason, I'm gonna put her in B, because if it's hers, she's not gonna have a freak out at all. But if it is Gerald's, then I think she's gonna have, like, a bit of a big freak out. But again, she'd have people around her reassuring her. A lot of these people just have people reassuring them. SBO, I'm gonna put in A rank. As I was saying earlier, I think... I gotta tell you about the hit game Raid Shadow Legends. No, Redhead, no. Don't bring that into my stream. I'm not sponsored. No. But, with SBO, I think, okay, outwardly he'd be able to make it look like he's not freaking out, but I feel like on the inside he would be, like, just a little bit freaking out. Like, I feel like he'd be like, oh, shit, we had stuff on there for the agency. Shit. But on the outside, he'd just be like, oh, it's fine, we can just take it to Tails or whoever our tech guy is. And then he'd just do his best to not look like he was about to sweat out like he's in a sauna or something. Vector, I'm gonna put in D with Amy, because I feel even if it's, like, the most mundane shit, I feel like he'd get okay, so let's be real, Vector is constantly listening to music, and he probably uses his laptop to get a lot of that music, unless he's on, like, to, like, download songs and then put them onto his, I don't fucking know, his iPod. So I think he'd freak out because of that, and also if he didn't have access to getting more music, because he'd be like, "Whoa, what the hell, man?" And then I can't do a Vector impression, so I'm not even gonna try. But then I think also, similar to how SBO would be internally freaking out about the agency files for, like, their cases, I think Vector would be outwardly showing all that, like, shit! Oh my god! Guys, I lost the files! Help! Vector from Despicable Me just get from his own playlist, no. Rated sponsors so many YouTubers, I believe that you'll be one of them at some point. A girl can only pray. If anybody's looking to sponsor, your girl's available. Yeah, and then Charmy, I feel like, I'm gonna put him in C, Because I don't think, because Charmy is like younger, I don't think he'd initially understand the ramifications of it. I think he'd be like, oh, but we can just fix it, right? We can just take it to Tails or whatever and we can fix it. But then if it was like, if Vector was involved in the situation and Vector started freaking out, I think then he'd like feed off of Vector's nervous energy, and then he also would be like, ow, shit! And then SB would be like, no, don't repeat that word. Natalia suddenly gets the better help offer. Oh god, no. I don't think Vector would freak out. I don't know. Oh, Koi Bells, thank you for renewing your membership. Thank you. Or getting a membership, actually. If you had a membership at this, you haven't had a membership. Thank you for getting a membership. Just this once since I'm getting a job. Congratulations! Like, you don't need the keyboard to play your music playlist. I mean, more in the sense of, like, downloading new songs. I feel like Vector's the kind of person who'd be like, even if he only has the same few artists he shuffles around, I think he'd still be constantly trying to update his list. So that's why I think, like, oh, he'd be upset at that. And also, again, the agency files. Omega's a robot, so I'm not really sure how this would work. Okay, I'm just gonna put him in calmest, because I'm pretty sure he's Omega would just be like, why did he go Russian? I can just access this myself. Why should I care? I feel like that's just what he'd be. I'm gonna put Jet as our first major freakout, just from how he acts in Raptors. Like, anytime something goes wrong, he's immediately slamming his desk. Like, he wears his emotions on his sleeve even more than Amy does. So I feel like he'd be even if it's just like Wave or Storm tells him like, oh yeah, we can fix it, it's fine. Probably more Wave rather than Storm. I feel like he'd still be like just going crazy. It's like, oh no, the laptop's not working, guys. Fellas, I'm out. I don't actually think about using my job monies to get a membership soon. More jobs, let's go. Oh shit, sorry. I think also, I think I'm gonna put Storm in a D category, because I think based off his attitude in Riders, he'd also have major freakouts, but I feel like he'd be more receptive to like Wave, for instance, saying like, it's fine, we can fix it. The Russian accent was a reference to something. Enjoy. Very bad Russian accent, but you know. But yeah, I feel like oh shit, it's an Xbox. Sorry. I feel like he'd be, whereas Jet would just keep freaking out. I feel like after he like has this massive freak out and Wave says like, we can fix it, he'd be like, okay, fine, I'll calm down. And I will sponsor that myself. Welcome in, guys. Today we're sponsored by Dragon Steve. Thank you for the sponsorship. Wave, I'm gonna put in B category, cause like, I think if like I was saying, if Jet or Storm had the freak out, I think she'd be the one calming them down, and therefore likely be able to calm herself down. But I still think she'd have at least like a little bit of a freak out. Like, she'd be like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Like, trying to fix things. But eventually she'd be able to just calm herself down, or like, at the very least, keep her emotions in check, if that makes sense. Clank her? I barely know her. Oh my god. If I get my apprenticeship, oh, I thank you. Blaze, I'm gonna put in A category because, again with the same, like, just the general vein here with all of them, she'd have that initial sort of like, oh shit moment. But also I think she'd be like, oh wait, I'm a princess. I can literally just hire anyone to fix this, or just get a brand new laptop. I don't think she would be like, I don't think she would care that much. Like, after the initial, like, what the hell's going on, I think she'd just be like, whatever. Sari KCC sponsorship? Well, you want a KCC sponsored stream? That's gonna be just the Ratnat stream. That's gonna be this. No, we're not bringing in the robusty. Okay, Silver, I'm gonna put in C category, because I think he would, yeah, I think he would be like, initially he would like worry over it, like he would play through all like the worst case scenarios in his mind, like, oh, what if the laptop can never be fixed, what if there's an important file in there that he's never gonna have access to ever again, what if this laptop was the key to saving his future or something. I think he'd go through all of that in his head, but then Blaze would just calm him down. I think she would be there to be like, hey, we can fix this, it's fine, I'm a princess, I have money. KCC sponsored stream, Jesus Christ. No! No! It doesn't make me think of Roblox. Kuma Cooking Stream, Jesus. I'm gonna put Gamma in this for the same reason as Omega. I think he'd just be like, oh, I could just access this myself, it doesn't matter. Chaos is in the same vicinity as the Chows. He's from a time where technology didn't even exist, really. I don't think there was tech around when he was a thing. Like, I guess technically these kind of bots were around, but I don't think, again, they'd care. I just don't think he'd care, really. He's like, I don't need this in the first place. It doesn't have anything to do with my goals. Why should I care? Like, I'd be surprised if the man even owned a laptop in the first place. Dekal... I think I'm putting her in A, because in the somehow she got her hands on a laptop, I don't think it would ever be her own. And I think, like, initially she would have no idea what was going on, so she'd, like, take it to... In this hypothetical, let's just say Knuckles, because, like, the echidnas, I guess, I don't fucking know. I'd assume she'd borrow Knuckles, if Knuckles even had one himself. She'd just take it to Knuckles and be like, the keys aren't working. And he'd be like, that's not supposed to happen. Or like Tails would be like, that's not supposed to happen. And then at that point she would get a little worried. But again, I think it just comes down to like having someone around to be like, yo, chill. If she didn't have someone around who was able to calm her down, I don't think she'd be fine. I think she would have a bit more of a freak out. Or like more of just be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Like she would just be profusely apologizing until someone told her it was fixable. Not Lord Jeopardy. Oh, well, hi, Snod Smith. This is on the topic of Sonic. It makes me wonder, what's your favorite animal? My favorite animal are foxes. Like, I feel like that's a bit redundant talking about tails, but I've always just liked foxes. They're just cute. And like 9 times out of 10, they're not like necessarily dangerous. Like, I know they're technically predators, or that not technically, they are predators, but to humans they're not really that vicious normally. I've seen a fox in real life before. It was cute. Emerald. I suppose it just it comes down to who he's copying, or like who he's emulating in that moment. But I don't think he'd be too freaked out, because same with the other robots. It's just like, oh, I can access it myself. Fox cookies, no, oh my god. Knuckles would throw away his phones because he doesn't know it's rechargeable. Oh, he would. And Tails would just be constantly be like, Knuckles, why do you need so many phones? Well, because mine just stop working. What do you mean? Well, they just go dark and they don't turn on. Knuckles, why don't you just plug them in? What do you mean, plug them in? Oh my god, I never told you about fucking chargers. Metal Sonic, same vein with robots. It's like, I can access this shit myself. Why do I care? Marine. I'm gonna put her in B for like the same thing as Wave, I guess. I don't really know. I'll be real with you, I don't know too much about Marine, so Marine might be off a lot of these lists, but I think she'd just be like the same as Wave, where she'd have a bit of actually maybe what to call, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna leave her off because I don't know enough about Marine. Werehog, maybe potentially because he's like shown to have like a bit more of a temper, I think, than regular Sonic. So maybe he'd have like a little bit of a freak out, but again, I don't think he'd care all that much. Chip definitely would have a freak out. He would definitely freak out, but he would. Actually, I think I might put it. You know, honestly, I think I might just put him in the full freak out category. Say, well, I think Styx would. She wouldn't have a freak out, but I'm gonna put her in D because for her it'd be like a victory. Because last time I remember she hates tech and stuff like that. So I think she, rather than freaking out, she'd be just like partying at the fact that she broke it. I have questions. Did you do a headbat ability tier list? I haven't done that yet, no. Eggman minus, same as Eggman reaction. Orbot, I think initially would like massively freak out, but then Qbot of all people would be like, why don't we just hook ourselves up to the mind, hook ourselves up to it. And they'd be like, oh shit, right. Oma Chow just wouldn't care. And like I said, I don't know about money. So yeah. Is there a reset button? Yeah. But yeah, this is the tier list, guys. Let me just start taking this. How do I take it off? Do I just restart it? Nope, that did jack shit. Oh, there it is. Reset! Yay! Alright. Sticks, positive exactly, positive freak out. Alright, let's see the next question. Yeah, shit, let's see. Okay. Okay, this is an interesting one. Let's see. Which... Actually, who is most likely to accidentally summon a demon that destroys the... Oh shit. Destroys the world. Who is most likely to summon a demon that destroys the world? Well, there's an easy first answer to this. Because Eggman's done this on multiple occasions. He has straight up done this before. It is not a debate. He has done this. Would and wouldn't. Oh, wouldn't. But yeah, Eggman's just straight up done this in like multiple games. Like technically Sonic Unleashed if you count Dark Gaia, and then also with what was it? I mean, he's released Shadow into the world. He was the one who woke up Shadow, and I know Shadow's not a demon, but he's a alien from like this race who wants to destroy the world, and he straight up nearly destroyed the world in his arrogance. Yeah, Dark Gaia, Shadow technically, and there's another example I had in my head, but yeah, he would 100% he would 100%. He'd think like, oh, I can control it. I can control this thing. I can make it bend to my will. And then he would just straight up. Then everything would go wrong. And he'd have to be like, fuck, now I gotta team up with Sonic. Oh, bye bye, Duello. Bye bye. See you in a bit after you've had your tea. Grandpa's on the moon. His grandpa? Well, his grandpa, to be fair, if Gerald was on this list, I would also put him on... I'd put him at A, because technically he worked with Black Doom, but when he realized shit was going south, he cut it off real fast. So... he would do it, but he'd managed to actually control the situation. To at least a degree. And then I'm also gonna put Sonic in the same vein! Because he's also technically done this with, what's it called? In, like, the one, what's it? The one that Styx is from. He did that with, like, the main antagonist of the he was the one who let the main antagonist of that thing out, and then he's also stumbled into shit, like, in Sonic Unleashed. He stumbled into... he stumbled into, like, the trap that turned him into the werehog. So I feel like Sonic would just straight up, he'd be just going around the world doing shit, and then he'd literally just, he'd step on the wrong tile, and he'd let something out. He would summon Forrest of what he would. He would. Tails? Tails I want to put in B, because... if it was tech related, if there was like a tech demon or something, I think he would fully get like absorbed into trying to understand it. And in his process of trying to like understand the technology and see if he could build stuff related to it or his own version of it, I think then he might let the demon out. In other regards, he tends to be a lot more cautious than Sonic, but I can see him doing it. I can see him doing it. Knuckles... kind of similar to Tails. I think he would... I think if he was tricked into it, like how he was tricked into thinking Sonic and Tails were bad guys, he would go along with it. But other than that, he tends to be quite cautious, so I don't think he would stumble that much into it. But there is still the strong possibility of it, especially if he's, like, chilling with Sonic. I feel like if the two of them get into, like, a fight with someone... or if they're just running around just checking out ruins and stuff. Even if he would be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this, eventually he would do it, and then it'd just be like, everything goes south. Oh, you're wrong. Oh, God, it's whatever. We'll have a part 2 week sometime. Whatever. We've never done that. Stop bashing me in chat. Amy... I'm gonna be real with you, I'm gonna put Amy on a lower tier, because she, I think she is quite the cautious type when it doesn't come to stuff relating to Sonic. I feel like if someone said, like, oh, Sonic is like, this thing has Sonic trapped inside, we need you to save him, I think then she would do it, but I don't, with how, like, connected she is to, like, spiritual stuff through her tarot cards, I think she would have a bit more awareness of situations like that. And then also, again, when Sonic's not involved, she tends to have quite a level head, I think, personally. Shadow... same bandwidth as Amy. I don't think on a well... I say this, he has also accidentally let a demon out in, like, in Mephiles or Memphis, Tennessee. He straight up, but that, to be fair to Shadow, fuck no, I'm actually gonna have to put him in Wood, because he has actually accidentally let a demon out. Characters of like demons. Well, also then I'm gonna have to count Rouge, because she was also part of the scenario that let Mephiles out. Oh no, also Blaze and Blaze and Silver, they technically didn't let the demon out, but they helped the demon. They helped the demon, but not knowing he was a demon or Mephiles, they helped him out like a bunch, and nearly ended up helping him destroy the world. So technically, they haven't let one out, but they've assisted one. So Devil whose characters are evil. I know, right? Cream. I'm not sure, because Cream's a kid. But, like, you have to think of, like, that game on the Apple Arcade. She was... Well, it wasn't to let out a demon, but it was to let out, like, to let Eggman control nightmares. If you haven't played the game, I forget the name, but basically the whole premise of the game is Cream gets kidnapped by Eggman in order to be able to access this like dream realm, so he can take over the dream realm and control people through like dreams or something. I haven't played the game myself, I just watched like one person play through it, but that's basically the premise of it. So I'm gonna put her in C, because I don't think she would let the demon out, but the reason why I kidnap Cream is because only people of pure hearts and pure dreams have like any sort of like connection to the dream world, or like can technically go to the dream world. So I don't think she would willingly accidentally summon a demon, if that makes sense. But I feel like she would end up getting kidnapped or forced into the scenario, and then her unwilling participation would cause a demon to appear. Tilted Towers. What's going on? Amy has summoned a demon that tricked her by using Sonic. Oh, fucking damn it, Amy. Why is everybody going in the wood category? I said that as well. I said that would be the only reason she'd get a demon out. Big, I think, would be in the same category as Cream. Like, he wouldn't actively be trying to summon a demon, but he would just be fishing and accidentally fish up, like, the wrong artifact, and the next thing you know, Satan is setting everything on fire. Chows... They just stay at the Chow Garden, really. Unless you're, like, talking about the Dark Chows, at that point, I think they would find it funny. Or, like, they just like the fact of, like, they're causing mischief at which point, but this just seems like the regular, like, nice Chows, so I'm gonna say no. Super Sonic can go in the same category, because maybe... I mean, it's Sonic, and I feel like because Sonic's a lot more serious and a lot more, like, a tiny bit more aggressive, he'd do it. Same with, I'm just gonna put Werehog in. Oh wait, no, it's meant to be Maria. Shoot. Maria, I would say A category, because she technically hasn't let a demon out. But I feel like she'd just go along with something with if her grandfather was doing it. Because like I said, if we're technically counting the interactions with Black Doom and kind of Shadow as demon adjacent territory, I feel like if someone like her grandfather or Shadow was doing something, she would follow along with it until she realized this was going to go south, at which point she would tell them to stop, but at that point she'd been an unwilling participant enough that it would technically be considered an accomplice. But or like maybe she was tricked to do it because she was told like Shadow or her grandfather was in danger. But other than that, I don't really think she would be too involved. If you could summon a demon to fight alongside you, would you? Why or why not? I wouldn't, because demons, historically, both in literal history and also in anime, just tend to be like just a tiny bit too mischievous and uncontrollable in the hands of the wrong person, and I do not consider myself strong enough to, fight demon if it came to it. Vector, A category as well. Actually, no, I'm just gonna put it straight up wood. I think he would just straight up get tricked into it and he would do it. Say, little less with Charmy, because he's a kid, and kids tend to have like a better sixth sense on who does or doesn't mean them harm, but I still think he would get tricked into it. Espio, again, one category lower, because he tends to be the more cautious of the two, but if something is happening with Vector and Charmy, I feel like he would end up accidentally doing it. Omega's hard, because if I'm gonna put him in A, because if Omega thought it would give him the upper hand on Eggman, I think he would 100% do it without thinking necessarily of the ramifications. Well, because I know he wants to, like, off Eggman himself, but I think if Eggman was, if he thought it would give him an edge on Eggman at the very least, if he could still, like, be the one to defeat him, he would do it. But, again, without thinking of the ramifications. But also at the same time, you have to, like, very carefully persuade him. But it is a huge possibility if you can, so that's why he's in A rather than B. Guess who actually did it again? They summoned the freaking, when they technically accidentally summoned a demon, or like the spirit of someone at one point, because they were, and also he worked with Eggman. He was under the same as like freaking Knuckles. He was under the misconception that Eggman was gonna help him, so he did it. So it was like, welp. Welp. So everyone up there at this point, I know. And, okay, technically Storm and Wave are accomplices in that. Oh, so there's that. So Chaos is the demon. So I'm just gonna have to put him in Wood as well, purely for the fact of he is, like I said, he is the demon. So it wouldn't even be an accidental thing. He would just straight up be summoning himself. Gamma, I'm actually gonna put Gamma in D, because he thrives on good boy juice. He just wants to free his friends. So if he was, there is always like the slightest probability that like if someone said like, oh, this is one of your friends who must be set free, I think there is like the tiniest possibility he would do it there. But because he's so like focused on specifically the gamma set of the robots, I don't think it's highly likely. Tikal, I'm also gonna put her in D, because technically she didn't allow, actually no, it's a lie. Actually no, like straight up, actually Tikal wouldn't. Tikal just straight up wouldn't, because she sealed the she's done the opposite of everyone in S. She actually sealed the demon. she literally sealed the demon away, technically, if you count Chaos as a demon. Emerald, A category, because like you're not you when you're hungry. Throw everyone up there now. Diamond, it's okay, Diamond, it's okay. Not everybody's crazy. Like I just said, Tikal's actually managed to seal a demon. We have at least one person to restore faith in humanity. Yeah, with Emerald, it would be, I don't think Emerald himself would summon the demon, based off his characterization pre-Eggman intervention, but post-Eggman intervention, if Eggman like told him to go do some shit, before he got destroyed, if Eggman told him to do some shit, I think he wouldn't have any choice, he would have to do it. Metal Sonic, same thing. He wouldn't venture out on his own to do something, but if he was told by Eggman, hey, go do this shit, I think he would do it. Like, well, I mean, not I think, he would go do it. So if that accidentally summoned a demon along the way, whatever. Also in the prospect of if it helped him defeat Sonic, I think he would do it. Again, don't know enough about Marion, so I think I'm just gonna have to leave Marion off things. I don't know enough about her, guys, I'm afraid. Okay, Chip is hard for, like, okay, to be as spoiler-free as possible, his existence kind of requires the summoning of a demon, but also not, because he's in the same vein as Tikal, that he is thingying demons, so I guess he just can't, technically. He's sealing demons away. Sticks fucking wood. Sticks fucking wood. She would just... Well, actually, no, to be fair, I feel like, okay, Styx would be trying to avoid the issue, but then cause the issue. I think that's what would happen with her. Same vein as Eggman, but in the fact of he wouldn't actually give a shit. He'd be like, oh, you're going to destroy the world? I don't fucking care. I've already done that. Get summoned, bitch. Or about yes, because he is desperately trying to please his father. Cubot, I put in B, because I'd say he'd be slightly less willing if Eggman gave him the order, but eventually he'd be yelled at enough by both Eggman and Orbot to actually to do it. On my channel, I'm just gonna put in D, because it's like, he's not actively searching for it, but, you know. How about you give me 6 or 7 kitties, Jesus? I have no idea who 70% of these people are. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, that's... These characters piss me off for so... Look, it's... To be fair, before I started doing this, I myself didn't realize how many people had actually been involved in the summoning of a demon or a demon-adjacent individual. But yeah, that's, let me actually just, I didn't do this last time, but yeah, let me get rid of this text thing. Here is who I would think would be most likely to summon a demon, accidentally summon a demon that destroys the world. There it is. Alright, let me just reset that. Reset. Alright, and now the next one. What is the next question? Tail sacrifices you to a demon ASMR win. Guys, guys, please. I already have to put brain power to thinking about Agnes. Don't do this to me. Head pets giving and receiving. Okay. This one is a little less crazy. Who gives head pats and who receives them? I misspelled receives. This is fucking... Jesus Christ. How the fuck do I spell receives? Someone put it in chat. There we go. Receives them. There we go. There we go. Just drag that down a little bit. There we go. I'm trying to be a bit faster, guys, because of how long it took for the first one. Sorry about that. Receives. Percent. Ignore the percent. Hellion 2. That's what she... Can't help it, okay? Okay, head pats. We'll put this as gives. Put this end as gives. And then E shall be receive. Receive. How the fuck do I not know how to spell receive? I fucking write it out every day, basically. In my scripts. Ooh. Whatever. Tails. Good old Tailsy boy. 100% receives. He gets all the head pats, because he is a good boy. He is a good boy. Eggman, I will put on the B end of gives. He would never receive any, except maybe from Sage. But in the same regard, he doesn't give it out to he doesn't give out head pats to many people. He doesn't give out head pats to many people. The only people I could see him giving them out to really is Sage and Metal Sonic. And if we're counting the movie universe, maybe Stone. But other than that, he doesn't really give them out. But he also doesn't really he doesn't receive them from anyone but like Sage as well. And even then, Sage would have to be very brave that day. Not because he'd hurt her or anything, but just because she herself doesn't feel it's appropriate. Since you mentioned a sign of affection, maybe I want to ask you this. Would you mind if I give you a hug, Miss Finn? Of course, hug away. What if they give and receive? We'll see. I don't know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Knuckles, I'm gonna say, is also in the gives category. Not because of, I think he can also get, like, head pats from, say, like, oh god, I think if we're gonna reach that bridge sooner than we think. I think he gives out a lot of head pats. Like, I think he'd head pat Tails, I think he'd head pat Amy, I think he'd head pat Cream. Wouldn't head pat Sonic, but that's just purely out of principle. But I feel like, because he'd be, like, the extreme, gives him out, like, a bunch. Like, he's generous with them, but not to the point of, like, every single time you see him, he's head patting you. It's more of just, like, every time you do something good, he gives you a little pat on the head. A little pat. And then your skull is broken from the sheer force of his little pat. You can use the alignment chart for nuance or just give a new TLSA email. But this, let's just keep it in the yellow color. Gives and receives. There you go. Amy. Yeah, I think Amy's gonna be our first person in our new category. I think Sonic in particular would give her a head, if we're going into slightly shipper territory here. I think Sonic would give her to do it if someone's like feeling down, like she'd head pat Sonic in return, or she'd head pat like Tails. I mean, like I said, everybody's head patting Tails. I'm sure even Eggman at one point would actually just give him a quick head pat. But yeah, I think I think that's how it would go. Let's see. Shadow, I'm gonna put on the low end of receives, because I think, okay, to be fair, I think he might, maybe he would give out head pats to like Cream or something, or like maybe a Chow, but that would happen like once. But I think he would receive them from like very specific people, like Rouge, and from Maria specifically. I could see when they were still together, I could see it being like she gives him like tons of head pats because she's just affectionate in that way towards him. However, obviously in the modern age, it would be very selective. It would be very selective who could give him to him, and like Rouge could occasionally give him some, and like maybe Amy on like a good day. But other than that, I don't think he would be very receptive to them. Cream, I think, is in the same category. Like a lot of people, not a lot of people, but a lot of people give her head pats, but she also likes to give them out in return, I think. Like if, say, Knuckles gives her a head pat, like she'll be like, oh, thank you, and then like the next opportunity she has to give him one, like maybe when he's like knelt down trying to pick something up, she'd give him one in return, like that kind of thing. I think she'd be more on like the receives end, but she'd still give them out. Rouge, I'm gonna put in this one in the A category, but on the thing of like, she's generous to the people she does give it to, but not like, doesn't super hand them out. Like Omega and Shadow, she is, well, when they allow her to be, she is very generous with them. She's like, good job, boys, or whatever. Good job, boys. And she'll, like, in that regard, she was very generous with them. I think if it's like someone like Cream or Tails, she would also get them out. But just because she's not as like, hangs out with them as frequently, she doesn't do it. Like, I could see her doing it to Amy, but like, maybe like, depending on the scenario, it would either be genuine or it would actually be like, as just like a dig at her, like a physical dig, if that makes sense. And I can see her giving them to like Sonic, but in like a half ironic way. Like she does mean like good job, but she's just like kind of teasing him, kind of thing, if that makes sense. I love that Tails is the supreme pillar of head patability. I know. I mean, it's like, can you tell me I'm wrong? Can you look me in the eyes and tell me that I'm wrong? Big the Cat. I'm gonna put him in gives and receives as well, but like very less, like very low frequency. Like purely he's just in that category because it's the same either side. But like I mean, first off, he's massive, so you'd have to be, so it would be very hard to actually just head pat him in the first place. But it's like Rouge would be like, she sees him in the same kind of category as like same category as adorableness as like Cream and Tails. So she does like, she gives him some, like she's like does a little flutter with her wings and gives him a head pat if they see each other. But then also I like to imagine he head pats Froggy a bunch. He's like, good Froggy. And like he head pats Froggy a bunch, and like maybe maybe he's one of the few people who'd get away with head patting like Shadow. maybe. Sonic? I'm gonna this is hard. I'm gonna put him on... I'm gonna put him in the same category as Eggman. Sorry, real quick, guys. Ugh. Sorry, I had an itch in my ear, and it was on the same end as, like, my microphone, so I had to move it off. I had to take off that earphone bit. Headphone, whatever the term is. Ugh. Yeah, I think he's quite generous with them with Tails, but I don't think he really does it for anyone else other than, like, maybe Amy. Like, Knuckles wouldn't accept them, Shadow definitely wouldn't accept them. And I don't think he'd give them to Rouge, it just wouldn't feel right to him, even if she gives it to him. But the reason why I hesitated a bit is because I can also see him receiving them, like, semi-infrequently. Like, I could see it in the sense of, like, you know, Cream ends up giving out, like, head pats to people, and, like I said, Rouge would occasionally give him a head pat, and, like, Amy as well could, like, give him a head pat in return at, like, a tender moment or something. Or just, like, in general, people, he's not, like, too standoffish that people don't give him head pats. Chows are gonna join Tails in the infinite receive category, because that's literally what you have to do to level them up in the game. Maria, I'm gonna put in, like, also receives a lot of head pats. I can imagine her going around the arc, and then, like, the scientists see her and they're like, "Oh, good day, Maria," and, like, some of them will give her a head pat as, like, a greeting. And obviously Gerald gives her a lot of head pats. I think he does actually give her a head pat in... Does he give her a head pat? I don't think he'd actually... No, he probably doesn't. But I can see him giving her a head pat. And then, like... Maybe not Shadow pre-arc disaster, but post-arc disaster, I could see him maybe doing it. Maybe. Vector, I think, is, like, a very big head pat giver, even to people who wouldn't really like it, like Shadow. I think he wouldn't pick up the vibes, really, unless he got, like, fully glared at or told off, and he would just start doing it, because he would just start doing it anyway, to, like, literally anyone. I don't think he'd receive a lot, because similar to Big, it's hard to reach his height, but I think maybe Vanilla, he would accept a lot of head pats from Vanilla, like Cream's mum. Charmy, I'm gonna put in D, because I don't think he's receives them as infinitely as, like, Tails or the Chows, but I do think he still gets his fair amount of head pats, like I said, from Vector, not Victor. This isn't Yuri on Ice, the fuck. Espio, I'm gonna put in C category. I don't think he really gives head pats out. Like, maybe he'd occasionally give one to Charmy, but I don't think he's, like, a head-patting kind of person. Like, that's not his way of expressing affection, like, physical affection. I think he's more of a verbal dude in general. But same kind of thing with Vector giving Charmy head pats. I can see him occasionally giving Espio one. Gamma, also on the low end of receive, because of Rouge's existence, but he would never give any out because he just doesn't see the point. Chet! Huh. I'm just gonna say he goes and gives and receives, but that's because equally across the board he gets nothing. He just gets nothing. Storm, I'm gonna say, like, because I believe he's, like, in the beginning of Sonic Riders, he was like, Natalia's a Fujoshi. Well, I'm not, like, a major one. I don't. Well, that's a lie. I bought BL the other day. Anywho, Jet the Unpadded, exactly. With how much Nad's been reading chat, this is the most Yaptalia stream so far. Shh, we don't need to talk about it. But yeah, Storm, I think, well, we see him give a lot of, like, back pats in Riders, especially to, like, Wave. So I think... Well, no, actually, no, he does actually give Wave a head pat, I think, at one point during the game. So I think, like... It's kind of the same thing as Sonic, where he doesn't give them to Jet, but he occasionally gives them to Wave, even though she doesn't really like it. and he'd be the kind of person to give him to like Tails as well if he's like in a particular like you are being adorable, get a head pat kind of mood. But other than that, I I don't think he's the kind of person to really give them out to many people. Wave, as I just said, she does technically receive one canonically from Storm, if my memory's correct. So she's on the low end of receive, but other than that, she doesn't really give him out. She doesn't really get him. She's just kind of like exists in it. She's literally just only in receive because canonically she does receive at least one, so I have to put her in the receive end. I'm gonna put Blaze in the we meant to put her in B, in the lower end of the gives category category, because I think personally I think she I can see I think she does give them to Silver at one point during the IDW comics. Could be wrong. My memory is fuzzier of that than of like the Wave Storm thing. But I can see her giving like Silver like a reassurance head pat, like you're doing good, buddy, don't worry kind of thing. But other than that, I don't really see her doing much other than being reassuring with them. Silver, I'm gonna put in like the D level of receive, like the midpoint of receive. Like I said, I can see him getting reassurance ones from Blaze. I can see Cream being a big fan of giving him head pats because he's just so like polite about it and he's just very thankful for them. Because I feel like Silver's the kind of person who enjoys like physical affirmations or like positive affirmations in general, and physical touch is likely something, considering the time where he's from, where things are very fraught, and the majority of times he's doing like physical actions is battle. I think being able to have moments where he's like, there's very like kind gestures towards him rather than him having to like slay another demon, I think he's very receptive to it. So that encourages people like Amy and Cream and maybe even Sonic at some points who do give out head pats to occasionally head pat him. But because of how standoffish he can appear to some people, like as this art can make you think, or like how standoffish he can occasionally come off as, and also the point of where he's like constantly sort of on edge because of like the future, especially when he's only just come back. I think that kind of dissuades some of the like less extreme head patters or less nonchalant head patters from head patting him. I'm gonna put Chaos on the low end of receive, because obviously majority of people who know him see him as like a monster. However, with Tikal like existing and the fact that we're friends, I could see it like her spiritually giving him a head pat at some point. He's chill with it. If it's someone like Tikal who he cares about and gives him a head pat, I think he'd be fine with it. I think if it was like, say, he would be confused if like Victor, not Victor. I think he'd be confused at one point if Vector gave him a head pat, but he wouldn't respond maliciously. He'd just be more like, "What are you doing? I don't know you." But he wouldn't like necessarily be repulsed. As I'm currently headed out to my job interview very soon, but sorry I'm late. That's alright, Matt Pam, welcome in. Good luck on your job interview. Good job. Good job, good luck on the job interview. Gamma, middle tier of receive, because I feel like if the opportunity arose, he would get lots of head pats, but it's purely circumstance where he can't receive a lot of head pats. I think that's the kind of category, the reason why he's in D and not E with Tails and the Chows. Tikal is very much a giver of head pats. I think because she was like beloved. But maybe my mind screwed up on the lore, because to be fair, at that point, the Echidna tribe had become very like battle focused, to be fair, so maybe this wasn't the case. But I think I can at the very least see her being very beloved by the tribe, so potentially she could receive some, but she gives me more the vibes of like a big sisterly figure like Rouge is, where if there's a head patting scenario, she's giving them out rather than receiving them. Not because she would necessarily not like being head patted, but it just feels more natural for her to take on the nurturing role in the situation. Emerald is hard because I can see him I'm gonna put him on the low end of receive because just like he's more of he gives more vibes of a receiver than a giver, but it again, a lot of it comes down to like situational shit, because like I can see him giving like, say, Cream, I can see him giving Cream a head pat, like, or like Tails, but because of circumstances I'd say he's more of a receiver. Metal, I'm also going to put him in the receive category. Can never imagine this robot. I can never imagine this dude handing them out. But I believe there are instances where Eggman has given him, like, when he's repairing him, he's like, "Attaboy," and he gives him, like, a little scruffle on the head. So he's in, like, when he's getting repaired, he gets them, I'd say. Marine, I'm just because she's cute, I'm just gonna put her at least on the low end of receive. Werehog, I'm gonna put him in mid-tier because I imagine he's like very soft-furred, so I imagine people would just want to head pat him out of just like wanting to touch his fur. Chip, same thing, he's adorable, so people want to head pat him because of that. Styx is a giver, but like, she's a giver in the sense of you're just going about your day and all of a sudden she's jumping on your back and go like, "Ugh!" And then she jumps off and goes off just goes off to do it to the next person while you're standing there like, what just happened? Eggman minus, going in the middle tier, because for the same reason as Jet, he gets nothing. Orbot, Orbot, I'm gonna put in gives and receives. Actually, no. I'm gonna put him in low tier of gives. He wants to receive them from Eggman, but he just doesn't. But I can see him, like, if he's talking with, like, Sage or something, or, like, one of Eggman's, like, other creations, I can see him at the very least, he attempts to give Metal a head pat, but then Metal just, like, glares at him and he's like, "Never mind." But with Sage, he's a little more receptive to it, so he's able to get away with it. And yeah, he wants to be on the receiving end. Never gets it. Cubot, I think would end up being on the lower end of receive, because of Sage again. I think maybe she would, like, if he's just chilling, she'd just get the urge to give him like a little head pat, like, real quick. Because she doesn't really give them out herself. It's the same shade. It's a shame Sage isn't on this list, actually. Considering how much she's coming up in this bit. But yeah, I can see her, like, giving Cubot a head pat. And then later on, Cubot tells Orbot and he gets insanely jealous. And then with Omochao, I'm gonna put them in the middle receive category. Because, I mean, they're a Chow. So there's a fair amount of times where people want a head pat on Omochao and probably do it, but it's just less than the regular Chows because he's a robot and people are like, "I don't want to catch my hand in your propeller." But yeah, that is my, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to move all the way for this, aren't I? One second. Hello, I'm down here now. But yeah, this is my list on who would give and who would receive head pats. So take your screenshots now, I suppose. It's calming to listen to straight yapping. Should I do a yapping ASMR then? Is that what you guys crave? Is that what you guys crave? Alright, now let me just reset this. Red Robin. Yum. Alright, now the next list. I think we have time for like one or two more. And then hey, if people do like the stream, we can do another one. Oh, oh, by the way, for the last two, for the accidentally summoned demon one, thank you, Desktop, for that. And thank you, Dragon, for the head pat suggestion. And this next one is by Varks Does Arts. How would they react to finding out that Miku is Sonic's sister? Let's see. How would they react to finding out Hatsune Miku is Sonic's sister? I think that should be about right. There we go. That looks good. Crane is a strong word. How they have S rank, and then negative is E rank. Let's see. Okay. So immediately I'm just gonna not put Sonic in this because I feel like he should know. I mean, you know, screw, I'll just put him in positive. In the off chance it's like an adoption thing, he'd be like, cool. Tails, I think, would also have a very positive reaction to finding out that Hatsune Miku is Sonic's sister, because I feel like he'd be like, oh, cool, you have a sister? That's awesome. And then he would also find out on top of that that she was a vocal synthesizer. C category, because I think he'd be confused. I think he'd be like, drat, there's another one of those dastardly hedgehogs running around, is there? Wait, what do you mean she's a machine? How the fuck does that work? I think he would straight up just be confused, and also a little infuriated at the fact of, like, he technically... Because, like, Sonic has tech on his side due to Tails, but I think Eggman finding out that Sonic is technically related to a piece of tech, he would just be like, oh, what the fuck, tech's my thing, why are you just stealing my stick, man? Knuckles also, I feel like, would be a little bit confused because he wouldn't understand the concept of a vocal synthesizer, but again, he'd be positive about it. He'd be like, oh, you have a sister? That's cool. I wish I had living relatives. Sorry. Amy, also the same as Tails. She wouldn't get it in the sense of, like, she wouldn't get it like Knuckles does. Like, I think she'd be momentarily a bit confused as to how Sonic is related to a vocal synthesizer for the 5th time. But her positivity would outweigh her confusion. Shadow just... same category as Eggman, because I don't think he'd give a fuck. He'd be like, oh great, another hedgehog? Or like another one of you? She's a piece of technology? Well, as long as she doesn't get in my way, I don't care. Cream, I'm gonna put an A for the same reason as Knuckles. Like, she really doesn't understand what Miku is, but she's just happy that she's there. Rouge, I'm gonna put in B. Because, what'd you call it? What's the term? I'm trying to think of words and they're not coming out. I put in B because I think she'd be a little bit more outwardly, like, nice about it. It's like, oh, you have a sister? Interesting to hear. But it's in the same vein of, like, Shadow, she doesn't really care all too much, unless, like, she hears about Miku's popularity and she's like, ooh, maybe I could steal her. And Sonic at one point is like, nope. Big, I'm gonna say the same category as Rouge. Because, like, not because he doesn't care, but he's just like, oh, you have a sister? That's cool. Does she like fishing? That'd just be the end of that. The Chows, I'm gonna put in A, because they'd less be happy about the fact that Sonic is related to Hatsune Miku, and more in the sense of, like, it's another person to head pat them, if that makes sense. Like, it's another person to react. I don't care why, but I feel like Eggman would like Hatsune Miku music, but then hate this because she's Sonic's sister. Honestly, true. Honestly, true. I'm gonna do something for a bit. Maybe I'll be back, but in case I don't, I hope you have a wonderful day and night wherever you are. God damn it, Diamond. Everyone's stealing my outro. God damn it. Maria. Okay, this is gonna have to be slightly headcanon-y territory, because obviously she has no idea who Sonic is. But if she, for some reason, was aware of Sonic's existence, and they were, like, friends, or just were... Or she, like, knew of his existence through Shadow, which I think she kind of does, because of, like, Sonic X Shadow's generations. Like, she's aware of Sonic because of Shadow, like, kind of, through his memories and stuff. But, like, I feel like she would be, like, she would be happy that he has a sister, because maybe she would see it a bit like her and Shadow, be like, oh, maybe we could do sibling playdates or something. Maybe not, or she would just want to hang out with, like, more sibling sets, I think, or she'd just use it as an excuse for them all to hang out. But then I feel like she would also be, because she's obviously surrounded by tech on the arc, I think she would be interested in Miku because of that, and especially also because she's technically, therefore, a created life form like Shadow, so she'd be interested in her because of that. But yeah, I could also see Maria listening to Hatsune Miku. I could also see her listening to her and thinking that it was cool because of that. Vector 100% positive, because he would 100% listen to Hatsune Miku music, and finding out, like, one of his favorite artists, or, like, one of his favorite singers, I suppose, is a better term than artist, is related to his friend. I think he'd be over the moon. I think Charmy would be positive about it because of, like, Victor being happy about it. I think he'd be like, oh, cool, Victor can... Well, it would either be... I'm gonna say A for now, because either Vector would get Charmy into Hatsune Miku, and therefore he'd be more happy about the fact that it's like, oh wow, Hatsune Miku, rather than the fact that she's related to Sonic. It's just more the fact that he could potentially meet her. Or it would be the fact of, like, Vector is so happy about it, and because of that he's like, oh cool, you're related to someone famous? That's awesome. Espio? I'm just gonna come out and say it. I think he's a secret Hatsune Miku fan. Like, he doesn't, like, you know that one song, I'm a ninja girl, but I want to fall in love? I feel like he would see that song in Vector's playlist, and, like, on a quiet afternoon, he would get curious and end up listening to it, and then he would just fall down the Vocaloid rabbit hole. But he wouldn't show it. He would pretend to be all, like, cool and suave and everything, but on the inside he's like, oh my fucking god, it's Hatsune Miku! It's Chromedome, it's on a smash list. If Shadow knew about Miku, would he like the music? I think he would, but in, like, a casual fan way. Because if, say, Maria was a fan of her, I think he'd listen to her because of Maria. But Shadow kind of strikes me as the kind of person who's, like, not... He's the kind of person who, like, he turns the radio on his drive to work, but he doesn't, like... Well, actually, canonically, he listens to Sabrina Carpenter. So maybe, if you've watched the Twitter lives, if you've listened to the Twitter lives, the Twitter Q&As, he straight up has gone to a Sabrina Carpenter concert. So maybe he would canonically be a huge Hatsune Miku fan, or, like, he'd go to her concerts. But I feel like even if he was a massive fan, he'd have the appearance of someone who's casual, if that makes sense. Gamma just wouldn't give a shit. He just wouldn't give a shit. He would just be... not Gamma, sorry. Omega wouldn't give a shit. He'd be like, oh, okay, whatever. He's like, can she help me kill Eggman? No, don't give a fuck. Jet... slightly negative, but negative performatively, because he's trying to get a rise out of Sonic, if that makes sense. Storm, I'm gonna put in B category, because he'd just be like, oh cool, you guys are related or whatever, that's neat. Unless he was, like, a fan, maybe I'd put him higher, because I don't know, but I put him higher maybe, but I think in general he'd just be like, oh, that's chill. Wave, same category, she'd just be chill about it. She'd be like, oh, hey, cool, nice to meet you, Sonic sister. Blaze, I'd like to think she's a secret Miku fan. Like, what's it? World is mine. I think it'd be kind of like a similar thing, a similar vein to how SBO, she sees a song about a princess looking character, she listens to it and she's like, oh, this is actually quite nice, and goes a bit, not as far as SBO does, but I think she'd go down the rabbit hole a bit. And like, she's the kind of person who's like, you wouldn't know she's a Hatsune Miku fan, but if you brought up the topic of Hatsune Miku, rather than, she wouldn't have like a massive explosion like, oh my god, yes, she's so amazing, la, 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 la. It'd be more of a fact if you're just talking about things, not thinking Blaze would really understand, and then all of a sudden Blaze just like, she can keep up with the conversation and potentially even knows a couple things that you don't know. I think she's that kind of fan who's like, she's a big fan, but like, you don't know unless you talk to her about it, because she just doesn't see a need to bring it up, kind of thing. So, oh shoot. Silver, same thing. I think he's more openly a Miku fan, because like, the thing of him is like, he comes back from the future, hears about Hatsune Miku, goes on a bit of a dive about it, bada bing bada boom, and he's like, he will occasionally, when he's talking about things he loves about the past, he'll bring up Hatsune Miku and how like great her music is. So if he found out that she was related to Sonic, he would be like, oh my god, it's an honor, nice to meet you. But I don't think it would be like the same level of freak out as like Vector. I don't think. Chaos, again, non-plus category. He doesn't really give a fuck. Gamma, in the scenario where he did know Sonic enough to have to learn about his family, I think same kind of thing as like Storm and Wave. It's like, oh, okay, nice to meet you. You seem cool. Maybe he'd have like a slightly better like thing for it, because he'd be like, oh, you're a free robot. Nice to meet you. That's great to know. Tikal, same kind of thing. I'm gonna put her in A, because it's same thing as Knuckles. It's like, she doesn't understand it one bit. All she knows is that it's like, oh, you're Sonic's sister? Nice to meet you. He's a good friend of my brother. Like, that kind of thing. Emerald, same reaction as Gamma, really. Like, I think he'd be a bit more positive about it than, I think he'd be about the same level of positivity as like Rouge and Big, whereas it'd be like, nice to meet you, you're Sonic's sister? It's great to meet you, it's nice to know you exist. But he would just be like, and like, he'd maybe appreciate the robot connection there, but, or like the tech side connection, and also the fact of how like, this may be a bit of the vein of the adaptability, because Miku can do so many different kinds of songs, and he's like, adapts to many different kinds of scenarios, maybe, if you really want to stretch it. But yeah, other than that, I think he wouldn't really get it. I think he'd understand it, but he wouldn't really get, like, you know how people get with like sensational stuff, like sensationalizing people. Negative reaction, first negative reaction, I say, because he's upset he doesn't have like a Miku sister to, but it would be the kind of thing of like, he'd pretend, like, it's how it's with Amy, he's like, he pretends to be Sonic, and when she doesn't like see him as Sonic, he gets annoyed. Werehog, it's again the actual sibling, so it's just like, okay, cool. Chip, yeah, A category. I think he would be very kind of similar to, it's kind of more similar to Tails, where he'd be like, oh, you're Sonic's sister, that's really cool. And then once you would have to explain to him the concept of a vocal synthesizer, but I think he'd be impressed, but not to the level of like Tails is, if that makes sense. Marine, also don't understand. I think I'm gonna put Styx in the category in B, because it's been fun, Miss Finn. I spiritually give you a hug goodbye. I give you a hug and goodbye in return. Have a good day, Schnardsmith. can't metal analyze and copy machines. Does he make like a flesh beaker or what? Or maybe Neru? No. It's what's her name? It's what's her name? Teto. He makes Teto. He makes Teto. Yeah, with Styx, I think she would be happy to meet Sonic's sister, but then when she initially she's gonna be like very negative when she realizes like she's technology, but then is what do you call it? Eventually she'll get talked around. That's why she's B. Eventually she'll be chill with it. Eggman minus, I have no idea really how he'd react. I feel like on some level he'd be like, "Oh, you're a technology, I can exploit you and ruin Sonic's life." But again, the two have never interacted, so I have no idea what the reaction there would be. Orbot, I think, would be in the somewhat negative category because he doesn't like the fact that Sonic has a relative. Cubot wouldn't give a damn. It's like, it doesn't affect me. Why the fuck should I care? Omachao, it's slightly positive. And then yeah, that's it. That's it. Actually, that's maybe a lie with Orbot a bit. I think, okay, in the scenario that Orbot is a fan, I think he would be even more upset. I think he'd be straight up in the negative category because he doesn't like the fact that one of his favorite idols is related to his I think he just straight up would be like, doesn't like the idea of his idol being related to Sonic, and that would make him really upset. Like, he would still like Hatsune Miku, he just wouldn't like the fact that they're related. Natalia doesn't know Teto is Eggman's sister. Make Sonic says Utaloid found idea. I said it was Metal Sister. Get it right. Get it right. Alright, I think we have time for like one more. Do you guys want to do one more? Let me just move out of the way a little bit. Alright, if you wish to take a screenshot, take a screenshot. Let me take a screenshot myself later, we'll see. Let's see. This is wild. Hi Rosen, welcome in. Let's see. I'm not doing that bit because I am not getting furry allegations on my channel. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna do Stalger's one because this is like a nice little like tame one. But also like an interesting one in that regard from Staljo. Let's see. And edit. How would they react to wet socks? So if it turned out they were wearing wet socks, how would they react? Wait, also let me just reset this. There we go. Okay, we're good. We're back. We're so back, chat. We're so back. Nice game. There is an intentional reason, Flappy. It was intentional. You bully me. You asked me to rate the smashability of characters. That ain't happening. I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna put positive, but in like more the sense of like, oh shit. But more in the sense of like, just like they don't have a freak out kind of positive. And then negative will be down here. I don't know why I've got negative as green and positive as red, but you figure it out yourself. Okay. Tails, I think would be... I'm gonna put him on the low end of the negative category. Because I feel like he would be... I don't think he'd like the feeling of wet socks. But I genuinely think he'd just have an invention on hand that could dry out the socks, like, instantly. Or, like, he'd just have a spare pair on hand, and he'd just be like, it would just be like a 5-second inconvenience to him. I think that's what I think. Eggman, massive negative reaction. Even if he was the same as Tails and he had something on hand that would be able to dry out the socks instantly, he'd just be so upset by it. He'd end up drawing out his suffering longer because he was having such like a little hissy fit about it. I'm leaving skips both of mine. Both of yours are inappropriate and mean. I'm playing Hard Time 3 in a late. Jesus Christ, Red Hat. Valid crash out. Let's see. Knuckles, I think, would be on the other end of the doesn't care category to Tails. Like, he'd be like, all of this is just part of a warrior's training. Like, he wouldn't like the feeling of it, but he just powers through anyway. Amy would have a bit more of a negative reaction. I don't think she'd have the same hissy fit on like, the Eggman level. But I think she wouldn't like it just because, again, it's uncomfortable. But also the fact of, like, she, what's the word? Oh, what's the thing? She just doesn't like how it ruins her outfit. That's what I'm trying to say. Shadow, I think, would be on the I think he'd be on the lower end of the negative spectrum, but I feel like he'd still be like slightly annoyed at the inconvenience. Cream, I'm gonna put in the same category as Amy. I think she would be like majorly upset at the wet sock things. I think she'd be okay to take. She'd be the kind of person who would just take the socks off and would just walk around without socks on, because she just doesn't want to deal with like the sensory issues or whatever. But yeah, I mean she's a kid. She's gonna have a more of a like teary moment at having wet socks than anybody else. Rouge, I'm gonna say D negative as well, because of like. It's same reasons as Amy, really. She doesn't like the feeling. She doesn't like that her clothes are ruined, but she's a little better than Amy with it. She's a little better than Amy with it because she just powers through. Or she's like Cream. She just takes them off, or like maybe has a spare on hand. Big, same category as Knuckles. I have a feeling. I don't even know if Big really wears socks, I'll be real with you. Because I have a feeling that... Actually, I'm going to put him slightly higher, actually. I have a feeling that... Yeah, actually, no, I'm just going to put him straight positive. I have a feeling that because he's fishing, there have been situations in the past where he splashed his socks, and he might get, like, a tiny bit upset in the sense of, like, oh no, Froggy, I've ruined my socks. But because it's, like, happened before, he's able to now, like, be more chill with it. He's just like, oh well, I'll just dry them off later. Like, that kind of thing. Sonic, I have a feeling, has also, on many an occasion, like, got his socks wet. So I'm gonna put him in the positive category with Big. It's the fact of, like, overexposure has made him numb to the issue. He's just like, whatever. He's like, oh man, I got my socks wet again? I guess I gotta go get a new pair. Whatever, bye! Not stop bullying Flappy. Tell him to stop telling me to rate the smashability of animals. Omocha? Oh, not Omochaos. Regular chows. Considering there's like okay, two things here. They don't wear socks, they don't wear any kind of clothing unless you give them like a hat or something. But in the situation where they would be wearing socks for whatever reason, I don't think they'd care all that much, because there's like a pond in the Chow Garden, and I can imagine them going in the pond and just playing with the socks on and just enjoying themselves. And like they might be a little bit unhappy with how the wet socks feels when they get out of the pond, but they just toss them off and go on about their day and just go back to being very happy. Maria, I'm gonna say, is on the lower end of the upset side of the spectrum because of I mean, it's again, it's like a discomfort thing. She doesn't like the fact that like they're wet, and it means she also has to change her socks. But she's just kind of just like, oh well, I guess this is just how things go sometimes. That's basically about it. Vector. See, it's awkward because on one hand he seems like the kind of guy who'd have like a bit like not a major crash out, but a bit of like an annoyance crash out over the whole situation. But at the same time, he's an alligator, so it's like, is he really gonna care all that much considering he's literally a water based creature? I'm gonna put him in D because I can still see him getting like annoyed at it, but again, he's an alligator. He probably goes swimming all the time, so he might be starting to build up a tolerance to it, like Big and Sonic. Charmy, I'm gonna say the same as like Cream in the sense of like, what about the Kuma one? Sorry, no, I'm not rating how much they want to eat, cook or eat or whatever it was. Kumo, it's a no from me. But yeah, with Charmy, I think he's gonna be the same as Cream, in the sense of like, because he's a kid, it bothers him more than it should. But I think Espio in particular would be able to tell him like, would able to help him calm down. Espio, I'm gonna put in D, but very lightly. I think he would be bothered by it, but he'd be bothered by it. He wouldn't let it show. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Don't sue me, Sydney? Disney. Jesus fucking Christ. Sydney of Australia, don't sue me. God's sake. Disney, why does it fucking, now I remember the word. I think he would like, it would bother him, but he'd be able to keep it hidden, kind of thing. Not Gamma, Omega, fuck, I keep mixing them up. Omega, I think would be on the lower end of negative, because on one hand it'd be like, I'm not gonna let anything distract me from my destroy, like, Eggman goals. But on the other hand, it's like, I think he would have to like do something about it. If we could, well, he couldn't have wet socks, but in the event that his like feet got wet, or whatever you'd call what he walks on, in the event that the lower parts of him got wet, I think he would have to be like, because he's a robot, it would be like dangerous for him, so he would have to take time to like dry himself off. And because of that, he doesn't like the fact that he has to take time out to not malfunction. I think that he's annoyed that distracts him from his goal, but other than that, he doesn't care. Jet, massive freak out. He has a massive freak out. He's like, I don't want wet feet, I'm a bird. And because of that, he doesn't like it. But, like I said, in the game, basically any inconvenience to him, he ends up freaking out about. Storm? I don't think he'd have as much of a freak out as Jet, but again, I don't think he'd particularly like it. It'd be this same sort of level of freak out as like Amy, I'd say, in like, he really doesn't like it, but because of just like the discomfort it causes, and also just he doesn't like the squelching noise, or maybe he finds it amusing and that's why it's not so bad for him. But yeah, he's not on the level of like Eggman and Jet, but he's still like, he's like, oh, this has ruined my day, this sucks. Wave, I'm gonna say, is a bit similar to Shadow in the regard that she's annoyed, like she sees it as an inconvenience, like a pretty big inconvenience, but she's able to just like deal with it. She's like, all right, whatever, I guess we're doing this now, and like she's relieved when she doesn't have it anymore, but she's not having like a visible freak out as much as like Storm or Jet does. What are bird feet even made out of? Cartilage, I think? Or like some kind of just like exoskeleton shit. I don't fucking know. I'm reporting this to Mabu so he bullies you for me. No, not allowed. Not allowed. Nat Hi Yang. Why are you skipping all of Catboy's Sonic suggestions? What do you mean, Flappy? I'm skipping it because I don't want to rate the special ability of animals. And I don't want to rate how much people want to eat Kumo. Blaze, I'm gonna say, is similar to Knuckles. I think she does see it as an inconvenience, same as, like, Wave. And I think she might be a little upset if her outfit gets a bit ruined, like Amy or Rouge. But I think then but the thing is, she has power over fire. So, I think she would be like, okay, this sucks, but I can just take them off, and she literally just, like, puts one of her hand, like, summons some flames on one hand, is just holding her socks over the hand with another. Like, she's just like, well, I guess I could take a break now. Silver, I'd say on the low end of not liking it, but he also is just, he's like, oh, my socks are wet. But I feel like the first couple times it happens, because, I mean, if you remember what his future looks like, it's quite dystopian, and, like, literally every single time it's dystopian, it kind of sucks for him. But, yeah, I think Silver would be like, the first couple times, he would marvel at the fact that he has the chance to get his socks wet, if that makes sense. Like, he'd think it was a great, like, he'd enjoy it at just just the fact it could happen at first. But as time goes on, I think he'd be like, oh god, I'm wasting water. Or like, oh god, my socks are wet again. God damn it. Chaos, again, doesn't wear shoes or socks of any kind. Also, his body is kind of, like, made of water anyway, or like a water-like substance. So I think if he did have wet socks, I don't think he'd really even notice. But I mean, if he did, I think he'd just be like, oh, hey, my body's got bigger, nice. I have more things to destroy things with, or protect the Master Emerald with, or whatever. Gamma, I would say, same as Omega, is like, he doesn't mind getting his feet wet, but he's worried about the fact that he could potentially malfunction. Tikal, yeah, I put on the lower end of negative, because I think she dislikes the discomfort, but she doesn't have, like, any, like massive freakouts, really. And also, I feel like the only situation she could accidentally get her feet wet anyway is if she, like, fell into, like, the pool around where the Master Emerald is kept. I think there was water there, if I'm remembering correctly. So I feel like she'd be, like, a little bit worried about, like, maybe upsetting Chaos or something. We don't head pat. What kind of dystopia is this? He's a cute little cat boy. Why don't you want a head pat? He can get head pats, but he's not getting his smashing. Emerald. I don't know. I think because of the fact he's emulating Sonic, he would find it, like, he would be nonplussed. But there is, again, the thing of, like, oh no, I need to dry my feet, otherwise I'll malfunction, kind of thing. Metal Sonic on the low end of a lot of people are on the low end of negative here, aren't they? Metal Sonic on the low end of negative because, well, I think he, like, what'd you call it? I don't think he'd care, but just in general with his attitude towards everything, I think he'd just react negative. Like, if he had to have an emotional response, or, like, computer-generated emotional response, I think he'd just be like, oh, this fucking sucks. Or at the very least, he would intentionally have a negative reaction to, like, well, actually, saying that, he does his best to, like, copy Sonic's characteristics, so maybe he would, if he found out that Sonic didn't really care about it, he'd also not really care and be, like, a little just like, eh. But yeah, I think he would also just wouldn't like the inconvenience because of malfunctioning issues. Maureen, don't know enough. Werehog, slightly less positive, but at the same time it's like, eh. Chip, he'd have a visible negative reaction. He wouldn't really be inconvenienced by it, but he's just like, because of just how he reacts to stuff, he would just have more of a negative reaction than what you'd think he would react with more emotion than he's actually feeling, I think. But he'd still like thinking of it negative. Styx would enjoy it. She's the one person on this list that would actually enjoy having wet socks. She would intentionally jump in a lake and then continuously wear the wet... Even if she's changed her other clothes into dry clothes, she would intentionally wear those wet socks just because she enjoys it. Just to say, Natalia, where would you rank on this? I don't really like wet socks, really. I mean, it's just... it just depends on the day. Some days I'd be like, oh, this isn't just a little bit annoying. Other days, depending on my mood, I'd be like, this fucking sucks. But yeah, it just depends. I mean, 9 times out of 10, if you've got wet socks, you more than likely have wet other clothes. So if I've just got wet everything, it's not going to really matter much to me, because I'm just going to fix everything anyway. But it's just... it's I think Eggman minus, I think he would, I don't think he'd be as affected by it as how much he reacts, but he'd use it as an in quote-unquote excuse to justify doing more heinous shit. Like, he gets his socks wet, and then he just decides to, like, punish the people who did the filtration system, who cleaned the water, who made the cup. He would use it. He wouldn't actually care as much as he reacts, but he would make you feel as if he did, and so it's more negative in the sense of there are going to be literal negative consequences to him getting his socks wet rather than him emotionally negatively reacting. Orbot, I think, would have a more, like, massive freak out over it, being like, oh no, I don't want to malfunction, I don't want to malfunction, I don't want to malfunction, even though he doesn't even have feet to get wet in the first place. He doesn't have feet to wear wet socks on in the first place. But if for some reason the bottom of his, like, body got wet, I think he would freak out. But then I think Cubot would just be like, dude, we're waterproof. I feel like they're probably both waterproof anyway. Like, Eggman designed them to be waterproof, and Cubot's just like he doesn't really like being wet because it means that he, like, slips a bit when he's, like, moving around. But he, like, what do you call it? Yeah, he's just, like, he's not as, like, fussy about it as Orbot. And then Omochao, Omochao is, like, I think he finds a bit of novelty in it, because he's just, I mean, he's just kind of programmed to be kind of cheery, I think. But, I think he just find it interesting. But, on the other hand, he just wouldn't really care too much. I'm flooding your sock drawer of water. I live underwater, bitch. You can't affect me. I would not wear intentionally wet socks. That's slander. See? Yeah, that is, you should fill her socks with grease and don't lead into a KFC joke, how dare. But yeah, let me just move myself. And there is your screenshot thing, if you want to take a screenshot of this. This is my ranking of how people would react to how the Sonic characters would react to wet socks. Take it as you want. Take it as you want. Alright, alrighty. Alright, we've been going for 2.5 hours, I think. And we did, like, 4 or 5, I'm not sure. I think this is a good place to stop. If you guys want, like, a part 2 to finish off the other suggestions that we had on the Discord, they are more than welcome to occur. are more than welcome to occur. I'm more than happy to do a second stream of this if there is like enough demand for it. But yeah, other than that, I think we shall thingy it here today. Let's see. How many days is this? Let's see. 1 second. I just realized I hadn't added something in. So yeah, as I'm doing my outro, I'll say this. So, yeah, that was the Sonic tier list stream. How'd you guys like it? Did you guys like it? Did you guys enjoy this occurrence? This occurrence of occurrences? Guys, stop arguing over freaking Flappy, guys. Listen. You bully. Listen. You put silly things, I will bully you for it. I bully you. You are bullied. Be bullied. That's an alright stream. Oh, it's catfolk are under my protection. Damn it. It's a very good stream. Thank you. I enjoyed it. I'm glad you did. I love Nekos. Well, too bad they're mine now. It is serious. This is pretty neat. Not the biggest tier list fan. That's fair. Maybe if people like tier lists enough, maybe we can do like another one sometime, like a non-Sonic one. Maybe we could do like I don't really know. What could we do? What could we do? I don't know. Maybe rating yanderes, maybe, or rating like. Well, maybe rating my own scripts, my own ASMR. That goes at not yours, net you bully. Oh yeah, they're mine to bully. Favorite game tier list? Maybe. Or maybe just like a thing like I could do a Kingdom Hearts tier list, oh my god. I could do a Kingdom Hearts tier list. But yeah. Rate land Kai members. I just ended up being mean and putting all members of the KCC into negative. Natalia doing the BL lit tier list as a Fujoshi. There's too much good BL out there to make a proper tier list. I'd rather yang to bully, and that's saying something mean. Kingdom Hearts. I need to play Kingdom Hearts on stream. I really do. If KH4 gets announced, we're gonna just speed run every single Kingdom Hearts game up until the release of it. Go on, you like some of us KCC. Yes, but in order to protect my darling Kumo, I must rate you as negative. I'm sorry, but that is the laws of the land. Yeah, we just passed 2.5 hours, guys. So I will take this opportunity to say I'm glad you liked, or at the very least somewhat enjoyed today's stream. Whether you thought it was alright, whether you loved it, or whether it was just you just hear for 5 seconds and you're like, nah, not my thing. Thank you for every little view, thank you for every little comment in chat, thank you for every potential comment that will come after this, and thank you for every potential clip that will come after this. And thank you to the people who have given donations or have given memberships. As you guys can see at the top of the goal, just above my head, we do have the goals for the month up there now. The pathetic ASMR stream will be coming. I'm just being really bad at getting the art for that. But yeah, if you guys get 25 memberships, we have Voice Acting 101, and with 50 memberships, we will have Natalia ASMR. They do not have to be like people getting them themselves. It can just be gifted. I will count gifted in it. I'm not going to be mean. And if you do want to get a membership, guess what? You can get access to special Natalia emotes, or continue to if you already have a membership. I will at least be trying to do some polls or like some members only posts on channels, which the first one happened the other day, and the results of that will be occurring. Pathetic ASMR art will be coming first, and then the results of the poll will be coming afterward. Yeah, there will be occasionally with members things. There will be voting on art. There will be voting on the scripts. There will be voting on potentially streams. If I get caught in between a rock and a hard place, I'll give it up. I'll let members choose what they want to see. At some point, if I get the opportunity to, I will try to do some members only streams, and you also get early access to ASMR with my stream. Obviously, ASMR right now is in a bit of a rock and a hard place because of my laptop situation, but when it does reoccur, when ASMR does resume, you will be able to, do it then. You will be able to listen to ASMR early then. I think we have enough members to do a tier list. We have over 100 members. I was looking at it the other day and I was like, holy shit. Let me look at it right now, actually. We currently have... drumroll, please. We have, in total, 123 members. 1, 2, 3. I don't need you in me. Got my 80 degrees and I'm caught in between. Sorry. But yeah, we have that many. Let me actually see. Can I add any more emojis now that we have that many? I can get up to... Let's see. I need to add in more emojis. Holy shit. Holy shit, I have so many emojis I can add in. What the fuck? Apparently, though, if we get one more member, I can add in even another emoji. But yeah, so the more members we have, the more emojis I can add in, which I will get my ass on, I promise. Oh, fuck all the emojis files I have on my laptop. Oh, fuck. Oh. Yeah, and if you just in general want a way to support me that will in turn that will include benefits for you, memberships exist. Or also, okay, I can't, because of the laptop situation, I can't say that voice acting commissions are open unless I find a workaround that with my PC. But headset ASMR, guys, headset ASMR. But yeah, I can at the very least say have writing commissions open. So if, I don't know, you want to fucking fanfic about how much Styx loves wet socks, hit me up. Did you see my cosplay from the other day? I did. You looked amazing, Zero. Thank you so much for sharing it in the Discord. Oh yeah, and we have a Discord. If you're here and not in the Discord, though, I think everyone here is. I better be at S tier for my perfect writing. Yes, Stalgio, you will be at S tier for my perfect writing. For your job. But yeah, that's my promo out the way. Get a membership if you want to support me and have some benefits for yourself. Commission me writing wise until my laptop's fixed for writing commissions. Yay, fun times. Yeah, or just come to stream, chat with me, stick around for a bit, comment on videos, maybe clip something or two if you find something interesting and want to go back to it. And any form of support really helps the channel and stuff, so I appreciate it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming today. I hope you all had a wonderful time, and I hope you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Mwah! Enjoy yourselves. Bye bye. Let's just start from the beginning. There you go. It's a freaking book this is. So like I'm about to see fucking Demix. We're gonna do animations with this. Should I take the screenshots now or later? No, fuck, I'll do it. But I can repost it on Twitter, but I can't do it on YouTube's. Actually, no, I can't even do that because I have to do it later, whatever. Action plan. Shit, it's like 10 to oh fuck. Of course, it took me so long to write it. Crap. That was somewhere. No, it's Gorbos. Go name Goldstone. See. Everything can be fixed. Fix the dandy. Fresh. There you go. What the frick? Oh, that's it. Okay. Oh, I don't know what's happening on my screen now. Please don't be fucking everything. Jesus Christ, I already failed one more. What's up? Oh, very good. Why does tech hate me recently? Down. Really? I didn't do anything? No? Maybe it didn't do anything. Just highlight something. interesting and check them out. That'd be nice. I know, like, just one below thing might not do much, but if it's one review, who knows? That'd be nice too. And I can notice in there. And everyone's great. Jesus Christ, I am really lucky for how many people actually come to check out my streams. Jesus Christ. I'm so lucky to have regulars. I'm so lucky just to do one general if I'm interested. Yeah, figure out something else to do. Well, the first thing to do is actually finish fucking donut on shit, isn't it, Natalia? Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, Sonic Tales stream is over. We dealt with some very good questions, but I hope you were all entertained by the close of them all. If you want to know where the Tales is this one, check out the vlog below. Am I on like a third song now? Oh fuck, okay, I need to finish this fuck shit. Fuck it up, Kenneth.